Have you ever done something kind, only to be punished for it? What would you do if a small act of compassion cost you everything? This is not just a story of pain, but of how kindness can come back in the most unexpected way and change someone's life forever. Meet Ada, a young waitress working at a high-end restaurant in the heart of a busy African city. She didn't have much, just a small room and a shared apartment and a dream of sending her younger brother to school. Every day, Ada worked long hours with a smile on her face. She was polite to the customers, helpful to her coworkers, and respectful to her boss, Madame Stella, a sharp woman with no patience for mistakes or nonsense, as she often called it. One hot afternoon, as Ada was taking a short break behind the restaurant, she noticed an old man sitting by the back wall. His clothes were torn, his shoes had holes, and his face was tired and sunburnt. He looked like he hadn't eaten in days. "Please, my daughter," the man whispered. "Just a piece of bread. Anything." Ada looked around. She knew Madame Stella had a strict rule. No food goes to beggars. It makes the place look bad. But Ada's heart couldn't ignore the man's hunger. She rushed inside, packed some leftover rice and stew, added a bottle of water, and quietly handed it to the old man. "God bless you," he said softly, his hands shaking as he took the food. Ada smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest, but that peace didn't last. Madame Stella had seen it all from her office window. Within minutes, she called Ada into her office. "You gave food to a beggar?" she asked coldly. Ada tried to explain. "Ma, he looked so hungry, and it was just—" "Silence!" Madame Stella shouted. "This is a business, not a charity. You're fired. Leave now." Ada's heart sank. Just like that, everything was gone. Her job, her income, her chance to support her brother. She walked home in tears, not knowing how to break the news to her family. But what Ada didn't know was who that beggar really was. The next day, the entire restaurant staff was on edge. The CEO of the company that owned the restaurant chain was visiting, something that had never happened before. He arrived in a black SUV wearing a fine suit and dark sunglasses. Everyone lined up to greet him, bowing and smiling nervously. Madame Stella walked forward, proud and confident. "Welcome, sir. It's an honor to have you here." The CEO looked at her for a long moment. Then he took off his sunglasses and gasps filled the air. It was the same man Ada had fed the day before. But now he looked completely different, clean-shaven, well-dressed, and powerful. "You," Madame Stella stammered. "Sir, I didn't recognize—" "Of course you didn't," he said calmly. "Yesterday I was hungry and dressed in rags. You ignored me, but one of your staff did not." He turned to the other workers. "Where is she? The young woman who gave me food?" They looked at each other awkwardly. One of them stepped forward. "Sir, she was fired yesterday for feeding you." The CEO's expression darkened. "Fired?" he repeated. "For showing kindness. Is that how you reward good character?" He turned to Madame Stella. "You're fired." She froze, unable to speak. Then he addressed the staff. "Find that girl. Her name is Ada. I want her brought to my office today." When Ada arrived at the CEO's company building, she was confused and nervous. She thought there had been a mistake. The receptionist smiled kindly. "He's been waiting for you." She walked into the CEO's large office, her eyes wide with disbelief. You're the man from the restaurant," she said softly. "Yes," he replied, "but I'm also the owner of the company. Yesterday I was in disguise. I wanted to see how people treat the poor when no one is watching." Ada's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't do it for attention, sir. I just couldn't let you go hungry." "And that," the CEO said, "is exactly why I want you to work for me." He offered her a job, not as a waitress, but as his personal assistant, with a salary 5 times more than her last job. Ada could hardly believe it. Her simple act of kindness had opened a door she never imagined. That day, Ada's life changed. She moved into a better home, enrolled her brother in school, and began training in business management. She walked with her head high, not because she was rich, but because she had proved that doing the right thing, even when no one sees it, is always worth it. And Madame Stella? She never worked in hospitality again.